Hello, and welcome to Ignore All Previous Instructions. This is a podcast, I think, if I remember. And we are starting so when you don't record a podcast for a bit, there's a few options. Is you can pod fade and you just simply disappear forever, or you can declare that you had a season. And now I'm happy to announce that we're starting Ignore All Previous Instructions Season 2. Now featuring my co-host, Sarah the Saravore, also known as Sarah Withee.
Also known
Uh,
as Sarah Withee.
and so now we're gonna do this as a co-hosted podcast for this season
Yeah,
for much adventure
I've
time.
enjoyed being on, Ignore All Previous Instructions in the past, and we just decided, what if we just did it more regularly?
Yeah. And then I don't, get as tired hunting down those wonderful guests.
Mhm.
So we may have some wonderful guests. If you want to be a wonderful guest, find us somewhere on the internet. We're findable, and you know we can talk on
Yeah,
this here internet machine.
I
And
exist on at least one place on the internet,
at
if
least
not
one
2 or 3.
place,
Yeah.
you know, total not. The thing that's on my mind today, or a cute internet thing, is I was searching for something and I stumbled on someone's earnest blog spot, like
Ooh,
you
a blog spot.
know, right,
Vintage.
vintage. And it was a someone who was chronicling her planned move to Kentucky because I was looking at something about the Cumberland Gap or like I was looking at moon bows in the Cumberland Falls to be specific.
Moon bows. Oh,
Moon
wow.
bows, so rainbows that happen when the moon is full.
Moonlight. Yeah. Hmm.
Anyway, it's this Ernest, and so they on her blog post about visiting the Cumberland Falls, she had a picture of, her and her presumably husband and their corgis that they took to the Cumberland Falls, and it was so earnest and so unjaded internet that I took much joy in it. And you saying, you're it's just a thing that's on my mind today. And you saying, at least one place on the internet, I was thinking like, is it Blue Sky or, you know, um, it's it's Ethereum, it's
I used to feel like
Noster.
I took lots of pride in having the same username on everything.
Oh yeah, I know,
And then
totally.
it
I
feels
tried
like
to
it just got out of control, and
well,
I
cause and
almost
then
don't
it's
want
like
to spend the time getting the username everywhere now.
yeah, like squatting on it everywhere.
Mhm.
Or I mean, you'd set up a system to go and squat it every time some new thing spins up. Uh, my,
Exactly.
my friend, I believe it was my friend Ben Garvey who's been on this show, he, proposed doing that as a service that you can give, people when they have a baby. So you can buy their baby's
Mm,
domain name for them so that their baby is, their domain is already claimed and,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
offer this as a service to squat their usernames so that when they're ready, they can have, but, uh but who
makes
knows?
sense
I
to
don't
me. Yeah.
I thought the idea has some legs, but I don't know. There's been a lot,
Little tiny cute chubby legs
and big and cheeks,
and cheeks, yeah.
um, and I feel like there's been a lot in the media I've been seeing lately about the youth and, social media and what technology the youth should have access to.
Ah, I would be curious to know more as soon as you close your window.
As soon as I close my window because there's I don't know if you could hear it and I didn't wanna call it out, but it's just when you're the circle of hell when you're working at home and someone's just hammering. Just it's just
Now I'm
it's
starting to realize my window is open, and maybe I should shut it because I live close
oh, well, if you don't have
semi-close
people
to a large intersection that sometimes gets noisy traffic.
yeah, if you don't have people just actively suddenly, on whatever,
Yeah.
um, you know oh, yeah, that's also oh, I was like, also my cat, my cat may yell, uh yeah, when you said I believe that was
Noises
your
of the
siren, but
city.
it's very similar to the the cat noise. Oh. So I guess the well, so back to the youth and social media. So
Yes, of
it's
course.
I think this is a topic, especially because it's September, so we're in back to school season. So it's, what are we going to do about the youth and their phones in school? So
Right.
there's a few in the Philadelphia area, there's a group called Wait Until 8th, I believe is their name. And
Oh,
so there's starting to be parent groups trying to say, perhaps you should wait to give your child a cell phone, until like see if you can hold out until 8th grade, and trying to create groups so that there's social support for it. Because it's all well
I
and
like that.
good to say, like, I don't want my kid to have a mobile phone. But
Mhm.
then if all of their friends have it, and, it can be a social
Feel
issue.
exclusionary a bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you, like, witnessed that live at all with some of your, volunteering with the
Yeah.
youths?
So for the uninitiated out there, I mentor a robotics group. The main program I mentor is 7th through 12th grade. So I do see mostly the range of everybody having some form of device,
Yeah,
but
they're at
sometimes we
that
get
point, they're
students without phones or, whatever. Sometimes they only have a smartwatch, which is occasionally interesting to watch. Like one of our students, she would like hold up her wrist and try to like call her parents from her wrist and things like
like a
that. But
communicator.
almost,
Does it
yeah.
work?
Yeah, very Star Trek. It's
Yeah.
very clunky and very funny to watch her like hold it up to her ear and then like talk into it and then hold it back up to her ear again.
Oh,
Feels
the
very like James
speaker.
Bond-esque, sort of,
Yeah, I only
only
know
not
the risk
anywhere near
my
as like
my mom will
suave.
sometimes answer
Uh,
things from her watch on accident, and she just doesn't know what to do. She just kinda panics
yeah,
and, like, hangs up if she can
yeah,
figure out how to hang up. But anyway,
uh,
so
yeah,
mostly
it
they
does.
have them. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say the ones that don't tend to range from, "Yeah, I'm kind of sad my parents are dumb because they haven't given me a phone,"
Mm.
to, like, "I'm kind of okay not having it, but it is sometimes kind of annoying because my parents wanna know where I am, and then it's extra work to figure out how to talk to them or whatever." Um,
Mm.
but or, like we have Discord for our robotics group, and
Right.
if they don't have a smartphone, they can't check Discord as easily. You can go to the website and log in and look, but you kind of have to just keep that open regularly or
Yeah,
just
it's
log on
a
regularly. And so you can't see.
real-time a real-time chat platform outside of having a smartphone is not
Yeah.
an environment.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's kind of the things about that end of it. But then, there's not a lot to do on your phone while building robots. So usually if we see the phones out temporarily, they might be like looking up instructions on how to do something. But often, usually they've just like gone off the deep end and are looking at Instagram or TikTok or something. And
That's what
we're
I
like,
was just
"Hey,
thinking is,
come
like, when
back.
they're
Come
they're
build
on
more things with us. Join your team."
I call it the distraction machine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They're very much engaging in the distraction machine.
It's like, "Oh, no, I open the" it's anytime I get some kind of any notification, and then, my girlfriend is like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, I opened the distraction machine, and so now I'm distracted." Like, I
It
opened it for
gets
some sort of reason, but who
Yeah,
knows?
yeah. But, after a couple minutes, it's just like, "What was the reason?" "I don't know."
Mhm.
It's kinda funny when I see them open up, like, Instagram or TikTok, and then I'm just like, "Can you get off your phone, please? You're, joining the group." "No, no, no, really, I'm looking up robot things." And then they'll
Are
show
you,
it to me,
though?
and they are actually, like, looking up, "Oh, here's what our team builds for doing this kind of intake," or, whatever, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
"I okay, fine." Um,
Okay, but it is so
I
dangerous because
guess I
you've
should
entered the
allow this,
distraction
but
machine.
it's
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. A thing that I have not seen often, I've seen it only once from, like, one friend, I believe, but is a proposal for parents with children to start having house phones and
Ooh,
bring back having
interesting.
house phones, because then there's a solution for, call the house.
So for
And
those under 35, a house phone
a house
is
phone
a phone
is
that's, like, mounted on your wall?
It's so
that
great that
will
you think that someone
ring
under
like a
35
cell
would listen to
phone,
this podcast. It would be
but you
great.
actually go to the phone to answer it.
You have to physically go to the phone.
You physically go to the phone.
You have to get up.
It's nice because you get a few extra
Sometimes
steps
it's
in your
fully
day.
connected to the wall, like a corded phone.
Sometimes, yes,
Sometimes
there's
it's
a cable
wireless, so
attaching
then it
it.
has a deck, like a dock.
Mhm.
That's the word.
Yeah, so just the dock is attached to the wall, and you can take the cordless part. It's like a cell
Mhm.
phone, but without the apps on it, if you will.
If
The
if if
only
you
app is
may.
just phone.
It is only phone.
It is
No
only
no
phone.
text. Sometimes voicemail, but no, no, uh, what do you call it? Transcribed voicemails.
Yes, yes, exactly.
So you can get voicemails of your.
There has been times I've pondered getting a house phone, not because, I necessarily want one. I mean, the convenience of living alone is that I have one phone and it's a cell phone,
Yeah.
but, just mostly, like, spam companies and whatever, like, "We need your cell phone because we need to text you all the time." Like, "What
Ugh.
if I gave you my house number instead?"
And then they just can't
And
text it.
I can
Yeah.
always just silence the house phone if I'm just kinda like, "I don't really wanna talk to anybody."
Mhm. Yeah. I think generally, like, that's an interesting idea. Even without children, if you're just a multi-person house, would it be nice to have a house phone
Mhm.
to bring this back? If
Yeah.
if there's such a case where I guess the idea with families is that there's cases where you just want to call the family, and
Mm.
if
Sure.
someone answers, you can, route information and
Or
get
just pass
to.
the phone around. "Hey, can I
Yeah, that
talk
was
to
a
grandma?
totally
Hey,
normal
can
way
I
to
talk to grandpa?
route
Hey, can I
information.
talk to
Yeah.
so and so?"
Mhm. Mhm, mhm. Yeah. So, and yeah, so it's back to school season,
Back to school
and
season.
is that impact like, are your teams starting up again?
We are. We started up, 2 weeks ago,
Oh.
and it's been a slow slog of trying to get all the students back into full-blown, "Let's go build some robots" mode. Um, what I find interesting is this past summer, we've been communicating in all the same ways we normally do, which is a bunch of announcements over Discord. We have a weekly email that goes out to students and parents. And then sometimes we were like messaging them directly if we need like something in particular. And it seems like all of them have just like completely like they're just getting no messages, almost like everything's
Hmm.
going into a void. Some of them didn't even
Mm.
know we were open over the summer. Some of them didn't know when we were starting. Some of them knew
Oh,
we were
man.
starting, but just like wasn't sure what days we were open or times or whatever.
And
Um,
obviously all these things are written out. And
they were written out, yes.
yeah.
And so I do wonder, like, how do we fix this? How do we communicate with them? Part of me is wonder, like, do we need a text service? Like, text all the students to let them know here's more announcements. You can't do them as effectively because usually we have like a dozen announcements, and that doesn't fit into even like a few texts very well. So maybe it's like a link that goes to a Google Doc that's a list of announcements or something. But I don't know. It's been kind of interesting. But normally I've relied a lot on parents kind of communicating to the
Yeah.
children to be like, "Hi, did you go look at your email?" And it seems like they're not even always doing that either. So I'm
Mm.
in an
Mhm.
interesting little predicament of what's the best way to deliver announcements that don't normally fix in a good text size format
Mm, mhm, mhm, mhm.
in a somewhat detailed manner that they need to know on a regular basis.
What if you encode them in a TikTok dance? Or what if you play the
This has
TikTok
definitely
dance
passed my mind.
backwards, and then that includes the dates and times that you need to go to competition? Um,
Yeah, you can't see it, but we're dancing on screen. Like,
but we're
"Hey,
yeah,
look up
yeah.
here. This is when we're meeting tomorrow. Hey, look down here. This is when we're you
Look
need
at
to
it.
turn your form in
That's
by.
look
Hey,
to
look."
the left. That's and, yeah, and the dance, is really well done, just to be clear.
Yeah, obviously.
And
Um,
yeah,
I'm sorry you all can't see that.
yeah. So, yes, this is a new experiments in Ignore is I'm gonna try different experiments in video, and today we're just not videoing today. Uh,
Mhm.
but I think, there were some of the ideas we wrote down. I think it would be fun to there's probably some sort of Gen AI garbage that can turn our audio recording into 2 animated characters talking to each other.
Oh, I
That's
like it.
a piece of Gen
And then
AI
that could
garbage I'd like to
be
make.
the video
And
that
then
we
that'll
post
be the
online.
video so that
Yeah.
people I don't have to show my face. And, in whatever weird
Pam the
office setup I
VTuber.
set up.
Uh,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's so much of I used to be so much more comfortable putting myself out, and that's why I think
mm,
this person and her corgis in Kentucky from 2011 is so sweet because it's just such the, like, "Yeah, of course I'll share my information on the internet, and it's totally fine." The only, 20 people of my friends in Michigan or wherever they were moving from to Kentucky, will follow it, and that's exactly what they expect. And, like, that's so sweet. Um,
I have to admit,
and
there was a certain amount of just like, I don't know, people following whatever random interests they had and just making
yeah,
little blog spots and
and
MySpaces
just,
and
this is my
stuff
thing.
off of it. And it was kind of a joyful time on the internet where,
Yeah,
I don't
and
know,
now
people just
we're
experimented and tried things. And
yeah,
uh,
and now
what was it?
we've been
Albino
around
black
too
sheep.
long on it and are
uh,
cynical. And
yeah.
I think I emphasize that of for me of like, "Oh, now I'm cynical," because I want to believe that that does exist somewhere. Like, that there's the like, when I
Yeah.
got on the internet, it was not brand new, I was a
Yeah.
teenager getting on an internet that already existed, and so then and I was like, "Wow, this is neat." Um So perhaps other people have that level of enthusiasm, and so
Yeah.
I want to believe.
Um, I see pockets of it every once in a while. And it's like
Mhm.
itch.io had possibly still
Yeah.
has, I don't know if there's, I think they're
Itch,
still around,
the
but
game
yeah,
thing.
the kind of like make
It's
your own custom games
I think
thing.
it's still around it's used in game jams a lot.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
at least that's what I've seen in the l
Um,
maybe
Neil.fun
a year
has
or
great
2 days
things.
2
If
years
you've
old.
ever seen his website.
Mhm.
Like one good example is he just has it's a Google Street View, and every 10 seconds there's a poll on if we should go straight, backward, left, or right.
Oh,
So it
yeah.
just like drives up to an
Fun.
intersection, like you get 10 seconds to decide what the group should do, and majority wins. And so it's just driving. And I think they started in Boston, and last I saw they had wandered their way up to like part of Maine, and then they're just in the middle of nowhere. And
Great.
um, but it's also kind of fun because one of the decisions is you can honk your horn. And
So,
so you
anytime you
can
can
choose
honk
left,
the
right,
horn.
straight, or honk. Yeah. And so after so often, you're driving, you're driving, and then over in the chat, you'll just be like, "We need to honk, we need to honk." And so they try to get like a majority vote on a honk, and it's just kind of a "Beep,"
This sounds like a
and
goose.
that's it. And
Was
then 10
this
seconds later,
tweet
they
written
vote
by a
again.
goose?
And yeah,
Yeah.
there's a few things on that guy's site. Um, yeah, so there's pockets of goodness, but I still feel like, the majority of the internet now is just kind of like, corporate frameworks of cookie cutter websites almost.
Yeah. I don't know if you there's a popular meme running around right now that's, like, text on a hat that says, when I grew up, I always wanted to produce actionable business insights." Um, so, um, although what you were just talking about and talking about that project with the maps, I think that a way to find joy and here you go. I'm gonna work in some more season 1 callbacks.
Oh, great.
A way to work in that kinda joy now even in my, I guess me personally, for my cynical state is to consider I think it's like, if you consider you just call it art. You do something, you just call it art.
Yeah.
Do something that you think is cool or interesting or cute, and you don't, make it clear it's not a business. It's not, trying to do something. It's just, therefore it's art. So
For the pure fun of doing it.
for the
Mm.
pure creative exercise. And so, like, oh, what if we made a map, a drive Google Map thing, like that's a it just sounded very performance art to me.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, right,
I
that's
think
the
it's
solution."
partly why I've started buying some Lego sets. It's just kinda like, I
Mm.
kinda miss the joy of putting together some of them, and so I saw this Lego roller coaster, and I'm like, "That looks fun to build."
Dang
And I'm
it,
just
you
like,
were
"But
the
no, no, I shouldn't do that." And about the time I finally learned, like, it's about to go away, they're about to no longer make it. I'm just like, "Dang it, I should just buy it." So I bought the Lego set, and it was fun to build,
That's
and now
awesome.
sits on one of my, like, little
I
tables
just
in my living room,
That's
and
cute.
it's fun.
I just realized I was, recently in Japan, humble brag, hanging out in Japan for 2 weeks, and, I was at the 100 yen store, which ruled because 100 yen is like 70 cents right now, so it was very fun.
I was gonna say, I
Um
don't know exactly what their conversion rate is, but I know it's dirt
Yeah,
cheap.
100 yen right now is about 70 cents. So, whereas, like, our dollar stores cost more than a dollar now. So,
Mhm.
you go to the 100 yen store and just have a good old time. But they had these tiny, tiny Lego sets, and I really wanted to get it, but I was like, all of the children I know are too young to give this to, and,
Mhm.
like, I like Legos, but not necessarily like the small detail work, but now I wish I had gotten
Yeah,
you
yeah.
one. So imagine I got you some sort
I
of,
mean, you could just go
Japanese
back
dragon. Just
and
go back to Japan and go to the
yeah, just
100
go
yen store
back.
and yeah,
Toki, go back to
Toki
Japan.
oh, it was this
Toki,
is in a
go back.
Kyoto,
Never mind.
100 yen store, but, can do. That's that was it's going to Japan for your first time as an American, it felt very stressful because it has all this, like, wow, it's so far away. It's a big country. Dumb statements. But so it has, like, this, like, "Well, what am I gonna do?" But one of my friends, her advice was you just say, "Well, whatever you don't do, you just do your next trip to Japan." And because I think a lot of the pressure is, well, yeah, you might go to Japan once in your life. But I don't know, I've been to Argentina
Huh,
3 times. So,
huh,
um,
interesting.
maybe I'll go back to Japan. Gotta go get
Yeah.
those Legos for Sarah.
I always figured going to another country would be difficult because I always had this fear, like, I'm gonna land somewhere, I don't speak their language, everything's gonna go terribly disastrous. So I
Mm.
started, like, London. London's easy. It's another country, but they speak my language, you know?
I did the exact
Um,
same thing.
and so, like,
I did
that was
Belize
fine.
on, like, one of my first, like, big
Mhm,
solo,
yeah.
semi-solo trips.
And so then next was, Oslo. Both of these were conference speaking, by the way. I just snuck in a
Mm,
bunch of
mhm, mhm.
touristy things too.
Yeah.
So Oslo. Oslo's fine because, like, in the core downtown area, they all speak a bunch of English, so that was great. The further we spread outward from the central
Mhm.
core, they definitely, like, no English. None.
Well,
But
and when
I
you
was there
went,
long
that was
enough to kinda,
probably
like, sorta pick up.
before Google Translate was really good.
Yeah, I did have a translation thing on my phone to kind of, like, type in things, and it would, kind of feedback stuff from
Google
the cloud, so
Translate
that kinda
is
helped.
kinda bonkers in how good it is. Oh, and there's some different apps that work for, like, I think there's another one that works better for Eastern European languages, but,
Hmm,
um,
I've been loving DeepL,
Deep
which
L.
is like they've been machine learning, language translation on it, but it's a lot better at, like, more modern versions of it, and but
Oh,
also it will
cool.
tell you, like, different suggestions and variations of things you
Are
can
you
say
still
and
are you still able I
all that.
know you have a couple things with robotics that are you still able to keep Google free? Because I don't know if we actually even talked about that on this show with about you, that you being Google free.
Oh, yeah. I personally am Google free, so I have an Android phone and I stripped all the Google stuff off of it.
Mhm.
And then also I just closed out all my Google accounts, so I don't have a
Yeah. But,
personal
like,
one anymore. But we do
you don't
use
use Google Translate, you have an alternative.
yeah, I was using Microsoft Translate when I went to,
Mm.
um, Oslo, and then robotics does have a, like, group Google account, so I do have a Google account,
Right,
but it's
but
only just through the
yeah.
university that we're attached to.
Mhm.
Um, so, like, that all the time I'm on just because I do so much with the work kids.
Sure.
But, yeah, like, effectively, I don't do too much out of that, which is kind of interesting.
I still think that you should I think it would be a beneficial thing in the world for you to compile your how you de-Googled, 'cause
Yeah.
it's so daunting. I'm so in it. I'm
I'll write a
just
blog post. No one will read it because we don't read blogs anymore, and it'll be great.
It'll be great. It'll get but you know what will happen is it'll get crawled by LLMs, and then it'll get,
Oh, and then people ask ChatGPT,
stolen
"How do I
into
de-Google my life?"
and then
According to
ChatGPT will
sources we've
know,
seen, yeah,
according to sources we've seen of content we've stolen.
I'll be
Um,
famous by being a bunch of, mysterious text inside a giant LLM model.
did you see so this is kind of fresh news as of recording, but will be a couple days old by the time this comes out, but OpenAI saying they're gonna buy Oracle? I,
I
like,
did
just
not
saw
see
this.
that.
Yeah. Like, that's that's wackadoodle.
I feel
I'm
like
just
every time
gonna
Oracle has
call
bought
that
something,
wackadoodle.
the product has went
No,
downhill.
no, no, no,
So I'm
no, no,
very
no, no, no,
curious.
Sarah, it's the opposite. No, 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 you
I
get
know OpenAI is buying Oracle. So
yeah,
I've
yeah,
wondered,
that's
like,
what
what
like,
will happen?
Oracle buys things and
Will
they,
Oracle drag down OpenAI, or will OpenAI bring up Oracle?
well,
Or
it did bring up Oracle in
hmm,
the stock market.
well, I mean, the stock market is also kind of bonkers.
The stock market is also wackadoodle. Um, it's a
Oh, wait,
favorite.
shares of Wackadoodle has just went up recently.
Shares of
That's cool.
Wackadoodle the Wackadoodle meter has,
Yeah, yeah,
increased
it's
by
yeah,
2.705%,
yes.
and yeah, so uh, other things, if I were a better video editor, there would be little counters that would appear on so many different
Just
episodes
little
of
bubbles in the
this
corner and
show.
like a little stock market
Yeah,
ticker that's going up and
different
down,
trackers,
and
different health
it's,
meters.
um,
It would just eventually be a little, video game
how
dashboard.
much are we bashing AI in this particular moment?
Mhm. Have we or like almost like a bingo card of, like points accrual is like, have we hated on, Sam Altman or Mark Zuckerberg yet? Although I
Yeah,
actually don't hate
yeah.
on them specifically often. I usually hate on Elon Musk. That's
Mm.
a key point of ire, but I haven't heard much about him lately, which, has been great and love to
I
keep that
still
going for
occasionally
me.
hear bits.
Love
I
that for
was kind of
me.
curious though. In past episodes, but I believe, was it January that we were on together last?
Yeah, we were last
Um,
on for a New
at
Year's
the New Year?
episode in
Yeah.
season 1. So we
Um,
did one of the opening episodes, you and I,
mhm,
and then we did a
the
New
New
Year's
Year.
episode, and so we did 2 episodes with
Yeah.
Sarah in season 1.
I've been kind of curious if you've adopted any sort of AI things into your life.
Mm. Oh, yeah, 'cause that reviewing that episode would have been an interesting idea because it's like a New Year's versus because some
Uh-huh.
people look at the school year as like a nice time to like look at your
Yeah.
New Year things and be like, "How's that going? I got like, Q4 is coming up.
New
What are we
new
gonna do?
school year, so go get some new
New
clothes and a new
year," or whatever.
backpack, and we
Yeah.
revisit the podcast and
Yeah, and revisit the
find out about
podcast.
AI. Yeah.
I do, or I definitely I use Copilot. So I use Copilot
Okay.
in my editor. So what that tends to do is just like easy autofill
Uh-huh.
for like things eh, yeah, for predictions and things that are like, yes, I was going to type that anyway, or no, I wasn't. Um, some
But
things
regular
I
straight
have
up Copilot or, like, developer Copilot? Because I found that
difficult.
there's multiple Copilots now.
Oh goodness, yeah, there is multiple Copilots now because Microsoft adopted now
Yeah.
there's like Copilot in your email. I use GitHub Copilot. So
Okay.
that's what
The
I'm referring to
developer one.
is,
Yes.
yeah, GitHub Copilot in Visual Studio, Code, VS Code. And I guess a thing I guess of things I'm guilty of using LLMs for earlier today, I do sometimes just use it instead of search for things like kinda Stack Overflow-y type questions
Mm. Mhm.
because I think search has gotten so useless because of
It's also
AI
fair. Yep.
garbage. That I just kind of like, well, if it's especially if the search is going to give me AI or garbage anyway, I'm just gonna go ask the LLM
Yeah.
and see if it gives me a decent answer, and often it does. Um, but then earlier today, I was actually thinking about someone linked to. I was talking about this, cute blogspot um, blog we were talking
Mhm.
about, and
Corgis and that. Yeah.
the corgis, we love them, and, they're so it's the legs, it's the legs for me. The legs are so short
Yes.
and the bodies are so cute, and,
It's like a mullet, but, like, in dog form.
it's a party all the
Like,
time,
long on
though.
top and short on the butt.
It's
Never
like
mind.
I'm not sure.
Uh,
Uh, they link to Kagi, I don't know how you say it, KAGI.com/small web,
okay.
and
Hmm.
that gives you, like, kind of I guess it is, like, cute, earnest internet things,
Huh.
and Kagi or whatever you call it is a paid search service, and I have had
Oh,
it reminded
yeah.
me that I have a few friends who subscribe to that, and then I'm like, "Maybe I wanna do that." Maybe they wanna
Should
know what
search engines
sponsorship,
be a
but
future
they could.
topic we talk about?
Yeah, that's an idea. I like that. 'Cause I just yeah, I think search is broken. It's, it's all broken from the
Yeah. Yeah.
LLM non-apocalypse.
So anyway,
So
search engines and, sometimes using the LLM part.
mhm. So I think that's the main way I use LLM
Yeah.
things, and then I've been, I guess since January and thinking about it, is I've been paying attention to how much or how in what is saturated is the word I wanna find, that I think AI, air quotes, is getting into the
Mm,
general public.
mm,
And so do general public people know about it? And it was a couple months ago that I heard people in the gym, like we were like in the sauna at the gym and no, we didn't hear, I was talking to them. We were talking about AI and they were talking about using, middle schoolers using it. And these were, people at the
mhm.
YMCA, type gym. And so I assume that they're not also secretly software engineers. I think they're like what I would call normal people. Um,
Normal people.
Normal people.
So
So whoever
software
those are.
engineers are not normal, correct?
Probably. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
just checking.
Yeah. People who have to leave their house to do their job and not log on to the internet. Um,
Huh,
so and yeah, so that's the other part of AI I think I've been paying attention to since we talked about it in
hmm,
in January. What about
that
you?
makes sense.
How's your AI
Um,
journey?
DuckDuckGo, which has been my search engine of choice for a while now,
Yeah,
did
that's
start
my
to
default.
integrate
They
little
have
AI
generate
prompts
AI
at the top,
things.
but they
Mhm, yeah.
didn't do it all the time in the beginning. They
No,
they
and they
just
don't
did it like once
necessarily
every 10 searches, and I'm like, this is odd. Like,
yeah,
what
and
particular searches are you choosing to do
now they have
this?
a button sometimes that says, like,
Yeah,
"Generate AI
like
results." You can, like, opt into
if
it.
you
I
want to
think they're
let
just
us to do it.
experimenting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There have been a couple occasions where I've use that if it meant, like, I knew I needed to go to, like, 5 websites and look up different things.
Yeah, you're like, "Can you
So
just
maybe, like,
compile?"
well, if you're
Mhm,
gonna request I use this thing anyway, maybe I'll just, like, try it out and see what it does. That's, been hit or miss sometimes.
mhm.
I found out also Duck.ai is, like, the direct chat tool,
Yes.
and they're privacy
Yes.
protective too, so you can just, like, do
Yes.
searches and they don't make them public or anything, which has
Yeah.
also been kinda cool to see.
Yeah. If I
Um,
wanna ask LLM questions that aren't about work or code, that's what I do, is I go to Duck
yeah,
AI.
and then, we have Copilot at work. I did finally start, like, using that mostly because, like, shoot, I have this thing I have to fix. It really needs to go out the door ASAP. I don't really have time to fix it, so maybe I'll just
Mm,
make the computer brain
Make computer
try
go
to solve
burr.
it real quick, and it
Yeah.
did a pretty good job, and I'm like, "Huh, I'm kind of actually impressed." So, I did start slowly experimenting with Copilot, and, there's been a couple times now I've used it to implement new features or something, um, and then let's see, one thing I did start to experiment with is PyCharm, and the other JetBrains IDEs have just been like, "Yeah, we now have AI, we've integrated AI into all the things."
Mm.
And they have a pair programming tool called Junie, and
It's a cute name.
I know, right? Um,
Uh-huh.
and so, like, they have a AI assistant, and that's kind of more your ChatGPT-esque thing. But Junie is more like give it a task and it will do it for you. So I
Hmm.
think the idea is you kind of be more creative on how you want the software to work and interact and stuff, and it will do more of the slog of just like slapping it all together.
Mm.
And at the robotics group, we have this spreadsheet tracker that tracks all the students and kind of the status of everything. And I feel like it's 80,000 columns wide. And it's just an absolute pain to use. And I had this idea like, what if I built a little admin portal that just kind of tracks some of this? Because we were going
Mm,
to like
mhm.
pay for software and then it got bogged down by accounting department at the school
Yeah.
and all that. So
Well,
she's
and it
like, what
sounds
if I
like
just
you're
slap something together real quick?
right. That you
And so
ultimately you want like a pivot table.
yeah, so just for fun, I
Need
turned
software
on
that does
the
pivot
trial.
table.
I have a
Mhm.
30-day trial, and I've just been giving it like, "Great, I need it to have a list of programs. I slap some students on there. Here's all the fields I need. All the students need parents. It needs to be multiple parents per multiple students. It needs to be, we need them to be able to sign up for different programs. We need them to, they have schools. We would like the schools to be not like, um, Allegheny High School, but also Allegheny HS, but also Allegheny Senior High
Mm,
School, but also, whatever.
normalization. Yeah.
Yeah, so some sort of normalized school thing, and then just like, well, if we can track mentors, what if we can track this status and that status and stuff? And it's been doing a pretty good job of slapping it all together. It was tremendously ugly, and so I'm just like, what if you just started using Bootstrap to make this slightly prettier? And then it went through literally all of a dozen pages and just like, I fixed them up for you. It actually looked incredibly nice for absolutely no effort whatsoever. So I have this admin portal that actually has a bunch of features now. I've been building it like over several evenings of just only by giving AI prompts to
So
Junie, the
you're
pair
vibe
programmer thing.
coding, Sarah. You're
Kind
vibe
of.
coding now.
Yeah. And it's been mostly just an experiment. Like I have no idea how well this is gonna work. Um
Have you looked at the
it's
code
actually
it's
not
generated?
yeah. So I did start out almost always looking at it. There's times where I know, like, the thing is simple enough that I'm just, like, loading the page, like, "Yeah, that's fine."
Mhm.
But yeah, like most of the models and stuff, I've been reading over pretty carefully, partly just to see, like, what it's spitting out, and partly just, like, "Did you do this how I'm expecting?"
Mhm.
Um, but I've also been, like, ranging from, "Here's very specifically all of these bullet points that I want," and then other prompts that just go like, "I don't know, I want a page of the student photos, figure it out." And it's been kind of an interesting experiment to see, like, where it takes creative liberties to do things.
Hmm.
Sometimes like, when we were implementing, like, payments, of, like, what students could do, or sometimes we have sliding scales and other things. It was just kinda, like, adding extra fields of assumptions it was making, and I'm like, "Yeah, those aren't real. Don't do
Mm,
that."
mhm, mhm, mhm.
That's been kind of an interesting experiment that I would say has mostly been reasonably successful. I would not call this production level code.
Yeah.
But it's definitely like beta level code.
Okay. Do you think it's I think the issue I've had is with anything vibe coded is that it's not it can't evolve. Like, it's when they
In
look
what
at it
way?
as all, like, the code doesn't feel it lacks elegance,
Hmm,
which I feel annoyed at myself, but, that like, when you read a program and I feel like this is from my Recurse Center days too, this I feel like I'm
hmm,
sounding like some of older writers I read or people who would come talk, and that, like, it should be there can be, like, an elegance to a program and the logic
yeah,
of it,
yeah,
and uh, that it's clear it doesn't sacrifice clarity for expressiveness, although if you wanna write Haskell or something, then you'll sacrifice and get lots of expressiveness, but little clarity, perhaps. But the when I read vibe coded things, it just there's a lot of daisy chaining, there's a lot of, like, things that I can see that if I want to evolve the code base, it's gonna be really difficult because it doesn't
yeah,
have a good structure to start with, that it
mhm,
has this, add, 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 versus like an architecture.
Yeah, and there's been a
That's
few
my
things I've noticed
criticism,
first,
but
and one was it just kind of, "You want a page? Great, here's some text." And, like,
yeah.
it's ugly, it's terrible, it's Times New Roman, and looks like you've never seen a style sheet before. It's,
Mhm.
and
Well,
so
but I
you
mean, but
kinda had
that
to,
would be
like,
how you,
evolve it
start.
some, yeah,
Yeah.
and then there's been times where I'm like, it's building the same header and footer on every single page manually, and I'm like,
And why I didn't
you
think
know,
dry.
why it
Yeah.
didn't think, "Why don't we set up a template and do this?"
Mhm.
So I did tell it to, and it did, "Oh, yeah. I'm now scanning every one of these files and seeing what's the same, and now, like, pulling them out and replacing them with the template form." And I'm like, "Okay, yeah." So, if I just let it go completely on its own, it would be a terrible mess. There is periodically where I'm going back and just kind of saying, like, "Yeah, I don't wanna maintain this." Like, so, my ultimate goal is that it abstracting out the slog of the initial build, and then I can maintain it on my own. I hope when this free trial is over, I'm just done feeding AI prompts into it, but,
Yeah.
mostly because I don't wanna pay for it yet. But, it's just like, yeah, there's some really ugly things I would not do as a normal developer that this thing is doing, and so I do have to
Yeah.
periodically, like, "No, let's go back. You did this, I would rather have this instead. No, you have
Right.
15 pages and they all have the same repeated code on it. Let's pull that out. Let's
Mhm.
rearrange." I asked it to make, like, a nice menu at the top, and it did, and then at one point, I shrunk the window and the menu disappeared, and I'm like, "You don't have a hamburger menu." "Hey, can you add that in?" "Oh, sure, I could do that." Just like, "Why
Yeah.
was this not a thought you had in the beginning?" Um, and other things like that. It's just,
It
I
sounds
don't
like
know. It's been
it's
kinda
pretty good
curious.
though.
Hmm,
Yeah, I mean, it's well, and I just realized that it's we're talking about this is a prompt, a vibe coding tool written for like from the perspective of people who make IDEs, and so
yeah,
they
yeah,
probably have some pretty nice models in terms of um that's also yeah, that's other I guess when we do, our 2026 New Year's episode when we get to that. But pre an early prediction is I think that the the well the well of, data is gonna get poisoned. So that's, the
that's
so
entirely
maybe
possible. Yeah,
which I think, yeah, is like the program you're using might remain good because maybe they don't train their model on input, and, like, that
mm,
would be possibly good,
oh,
and
that's
so
interesting. I did not double check on that. Huh, maybe
oh.
I should.
Maybe. It sounds like for the purpose you're using, then,
Yeah, this is not like a super it's just a basic manage, robotics program, thing.
yeah,
It's not like managing a school, which could be, like, incredibly more complicated, or just
more
an after school program.
complicated, uh, you know, much more
Yeah,
risky in terms of data
yeah.
and
I'm not processing payments. I'm just only
right.
recording that, like, "Oh, we took this parent's check."
Mhm. Right. Uh, the other AI-ish topic I wanted us to bring up that's been new since we talked about it in the new year, I believe, is the, uh, "Using AI makes you dumb" articles. You've seen these?
I
That,
don't think I have.
the stories are word is using an air quotes, AI, an LLM, reduces your cognitive function,
Hmm,
and,
mhm,
it reduces it you if you it reduces it of a point that you lose it faster than you gain it back.
hmm,
So if you start outsourcing your some cognitive tasks, then these studies are reporting results to say that you lose cognitive function and that you can get it back, but you get it back slower than you lost it. So that's some
Interesting.
of the
Hang on, let me tell you what I think. What does the
whole
computer
oh,
think if, like, this is
yeah.
I'm
Hold on, let
kidding, I'm
me
kidding.
duck dot a
I'm
I
Duck.ai. Do I lose, brain power when I keep using
when
it?
I use this.
Um,
No, of course not. Ask more questions. Buy more
oh, no, you're
tokens.
intelligent and smart, just like you've always been.
Yeah.
uh, I I would entirely believe that, and I would believe that because people have been saying that as, you know, we've transitioned to a you have an encyclopedia in your pocket now,
Mhm.
and you can just like, "Hey, what does it mean when the, big poofy clouds get dark?"
It's
And
getting
they can,
kinda
"Oh,
dark
well, let me
outside
tell you
and
everything about weather," and you don't actually have to know it,
yeah.
nor read books, nor, anything else, and, the people have studies, I think, have showing that it's been harder to learn things because we're sort of outsourcing it all. So I would believe that if we have a more powerful tool that not just tells us information, but processes and, um, actually doing work away from us, then I would entirely believe that that's like even stripping more, I don't
Yeah.
know,
Well,
elasticity from our brain or something.
elasticity is a good word. Yeah, this is what I thought of when you were talking about the parents and no one reads your discords or your emails and this
Yeah.
issue is it's I know and we talked about you and I talked about this separately too previously about the struggle and I feel for you because I don't know if there is a solution because I think it's that the people are
Yeah.
not processing the information and I don't know how to fix someone else's processing. Like, I can't fix it for
Mhm.
you.
Yeah.
You gotta have some level of motivation to do it. Um,
And we've had some leaders in the past, like student leaders, say they didn't know what was expected of them. So we actually outlined it in a document and made them sign it.
nice.
But only like yesterday or the other lead mentor and I kind of going like, it's probably really easy to just sign off on this and not actually read it. So
Mhm.
we're now wondering like, did all the students just not read it and sign it really quickly? Because like, I want to be a leader. So of course I'll sign this
Mm. Yeah.
versus I mean, it's the terms of service of every software product you use. It's the fact you
Yeah.
probably did
Did
not read
you
the
did
processes
you,
of your
like, send
bank when you
them
opened a checking account and
yeah,
all
did
that
you send
too.
them the form, or did you, like, have, like,
Yeah,
an
we sent
onboarding
them
meeting?
we sent them forms and they signed
Okay,
them
so
all
it
and
wasn't like
returned
an
them all.
onboarding meeting.
No, no, for that, no. Um,
Yeah, maybe maybe that's the more, synchronous indoctrination.
yeah, so I don't know.
That's
I can report back after the school year's over and let you know how that goes. But um,
yeah.
yeah, it's been. I mean, these are kids in an after school program. To some extent, they want to be there.
Mhm. They're
So
opting
I
in.
realize that's
Mhm.
entirely different than like I'm the parent of a child or I'm the teacher of a bunch of students or
Right.
whatever, or they may not want to be there and may not like you as a parent or whatever.
Right.
And different dynamics, I'm sure. But
Mhm.
I don't know. We'll see.
TBD.
TBD.
Mhm.
How should we end this?
You know, not with a bang, but a whimper. Um,
I was kind of hoping maybe like something nice we see about technology
uh,
lately.
oh, right. No, we did talk about that. Um, but now my brain is stuck on what's that a reference to? Is that from oh, no, what is that? Let's quick open duck.ai to ask not what the is that Howl? Is that
I
what
don't
it's from?
know. I don't know.
Um, an epic poem. Anyway, tune in next episode to find out. We're not going to use AI. We'll instead go to the library and use microfilm and talk to a librarian. So what we were going to talk about something positive. This like we're an idea we had for this season too. Maybe we'll assist it out. We'll see if we want to do it every episode. But we were like, what's feeling positive about
Yeah.
the world and technology for you right now, Sarah?
Um, I was kind of thinking the other day about nostalgic computing things.
Mm.
And that could be either like older video game systems, or that could be like older computers, or people rediscovering something silly. Every so often, I take a certain amount of joy to see like Microsoft open source something incredibly old. Like
Oh.
for example, like the Windows 3.1 file manager, and I'm like, what? It's just like, I'm never going to use the Windows 3.1 file manager again. But it's just kind of amusing to see just like, they decided this doesn't need to be proprietary, and
Well,
it's
and I kinda I well,
30 years
and there could
old
be
or
various
longer.
reasons, but, like, I kinda like that
Yeah.
they it means, like, there's some open source project, product manager somewhere that was like, "You know
Mm.
what? We can open source. Let's do it."
Little tiny tidbits of just like, who knows, the world may take some educational gem out of this. And I kind of really appreciate that. Um, but also, like, I just ran into a video um a few months ago, and there was this woman, and sh had to be, like, early 20s, and she was just like, "I love old technology," and I just looked at her, like, background of this video, and she's got, like, Commodore 64s and Nintendos, and stuff, and I'm
Nice.
just like, it was fascinating to see her take on the stuff I knew, because that was my what I actually grew up with
Right,
learning,
right, right. On your
versus
old
seeing her
technology.
just kinda, like, rediscovering something old.
Mm,
It was kind of an interesting twist on, you know, just the 2 dynamics of coming at it from the future versus coming at it from the past.
I like it. Great pick.
Yeah.
I think this week I kinda wanna call back to our where I'm gonna pick the corgis. The I'm voting for the corgis on this blog spot.
The people that
Uh,
still maintain a blog spot
that's
15
or it's
years
just,
after
like,
they created them.
chilling there. I don't even maintain it. I think the last post was in
Mm.
2014 or something, but
Oh,
that
well, or
it's
not maintaining them, but just leaving them
yeah,
up.
it's just leaving it up, and it's just, nice.
Yeah.
So and the small web. So that's the stuff that I think is sweet and that it's, maybe there's still some good stuff out there.
And maybe that's where we encourage any listeners out there to keep posting the silly joys of their lives that others
Yeah,
may stumble across and also take joy out of it.
yeah. That it's,
Yeah,
the doom the doom scroll only continues as long as we let it.
exactly. Stop the grim
So,
scroll. Go check out a blog spot.
check out Blogspot, go outside, uh, and, yeah, thanks for listening to Ignore All Previous Instructions. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Tell a friend, if you like it. If you don't, tell no one. And, uh, yeah, welcome to season 2. Thanks,
Welcome to
Sarah,
season 2.
for co-hosting.
Thanks for bringing me back.
The ghost has just disappeared. So, okay. Well, I can delete this part or leave it in.
Okay.
Um,
Chop it off in post.
that's fine. Yeah, whatever. All right.